And we're back. What's going on, y'all? Part 3 of the sit down. What is it? Episode 3, part 3. We're here, back with my dog Yoana, my good friend. And we had left off part 2, and Yoana was just about to start to dive into her journey, right? After she had really identified her insecurities and figured out what the path was that she was willing to take, what the steps were to complete it, right?
That was surgery.
To finish it, right? And for her, that was surgery, right? And what we're gonna do is we're really gonna dive into her story now and let her kind of take the main stage. And I'm just gonna kind of ask some questions along the way.
Please.
Kind of tell me about it, tell me about that journey, when you finally decided that surgery was gonna be the route that you were gonna take. What was that like, understanding that was gonna be the process that you wanted to take? So let's start there.
Yep. So I knew it was a lot to do just because, you can pick surgery, but you're gonna have to do A, B, and C to get to surgery. Like 1, you need to make sure you're ready for surgery. Like you need to be at a proper weight. You need to have the finances to get surgery because it's not like $25. Okay,
Right.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. And just doing your research and literally having someone trust you with your life into getting surgery, because it's not like getting your hair done. It's literally you're going under the knife. So those steps really. Because 1, I am scared to die. Like, that's one thought.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you need to find someone that you trust with your life. So let's start with finances, because that was the big part for me. Because at the point I was in such a dark situation that I would give my life to whoever to fix me up. So money. No, it was not cheap. No, I don't have the money like that. I wish I did, but it was hard. I gave myself a whole year. So I got my surgery done when I was 22. At 21, I was like, by the end of January of next year, I will have all this money saved up and I'm gonna book my consultation on February. I would literally not eat out for lunch while at work. I would starve myself, hold it, or bring something from home that you already have. I would not go out. There's literally not one picture of me going out probably that entire year. I would literally have a photo shoot in my backyard. That's the most going out I've had. Literally, because I was so stuck into I need to save those $5 towards this.
Mm-hmm.
I was committed and I did it. The year came, saved up all the money, booked my consultation. And it felt kind of scary because it's like you've been counting down for like finally going into the office to schedule your surgery. So it started becoming real. Went for my consultation. They told me the dates and I picked the soonest date. I will never forget, it was 15 days from the day that I booked it. I had a countdown. I counted every single 6 hours. I was like, oh my God.
What I think is so interesting is that it's not as easy as it appears to be, right? Everybody from the outside looking in just sees you one day and then sees you the next day and you look very different.
Yeah.
Right? And they imagine it being a very easy journey, a very simple process. For you, it wasn't that. It was a year of pure sacrifice. And
even in that year of, sacrificing my time going out, I was still looking at myself in the mirror like, can I please speed up this process? Like, I know I told myself I'm gonna wait till next February, but we're in July, so I have all these other months of still being pissed off at myself, being pissed off at someone because I'm not happy with myself. So I just literally couldn't wait. I couldn't.
And that's so crazy too, right? Because one thing that I'm kind of picking up from what you're saying is how almost your insecurities, you turned it into a form of motivation, right? You turned it into fuel, right? And that's a powerful way to use those insecurities to your advantage, right? And I did something similar, for me, like with the whole gym situation. I turned that insecurity, that annoyance of being called skinny all the time. It's so old. Oh, you're skinny. Oh, you're this, that, such, and the other. I've heard it 1,000 times. Thanks. But instead of, allowing it to beat you down, figuring out how to use it as gasoline, use it as fuel, to
pushes you harder,
to push you in the direction that you want to go in, and staying focused, right? So for you, how did you stay focused over that year period of time? Was it you looking in the mirror every day and saying, I'm not happy? Was it those insecurities consistently, patting you in the back and saying, hey, I'm here still? What was it for you to keep you focused? Because a year is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Just keep seeing those insecurities, and like, people wouldn't tell me things anymore because I work somewhere where it's grown-ups, but still arguing in my relationship. It's like, you still look at yourself, like when things are up and down, you still look at yourself, and it just brings you back like, oh my God, the date is almost here, but you're not really there yet. Work some more, earn some more money. So that's what really kept me going.
And let's talk about this too, because you keep referring back to relationships, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like before the surgery and after the surgery, the way you handle relationships changed?
Oh my gosh, a whole lot.
Dive into that.
A whole lot. So before, I would pick a fight, then apologize for the fight because I know what I did wrong, which would still have me thinking like, why don't I have the confidence to just stand my ground, knowing that something is wrong? Now when I know something is wrong, it's wrong. I don't apologize for being wrong. Because like, I don't want to be wrong, apologize that I'm wrong. So when I was in a relationship insecure, when I saw something wrong, I would fight on it. They would fight back. I would apologize because I didn't want that tension. Because I just want to let it go. Like, I don't want this to get to the point that we're going to split and I'm by myself. But now that if I see something wrong, it's wrong. Like, if you're going to leave, fine, that's fine. I know who I am, because my confidence changed. My confidence changed a complete.
But now,
I don't fear it.
Now, do you feel like your insecurities fueled those fights? Do you feel like the unhappiness, that darkness, you kept referring back to, because of the way you felt about yourself?
I just wanted to be wanted.
So you feel like those emotions and those feelings you had about yourself, you kind of turned that into a device to maybe attack or to stir up something to get that feeling that you wanted. And that changed. Clearly that changed,
for sure.
Post surgery.
Yeah.
And let's kind of talk about that, right? Because I think the thing that's really potent about your journey from the outside looking in, right? It's not my journey, it's yours, but just seeing you now, compared to where you were years ago, you can feel a different aura about you,
a fact.
Right? I can see the confidence coming off you, right? And that's such a refreshing thing to see, right? Because I've seen, like I had said,
I like looking at mirrors.
Right, and we have both seen each other in the best and the worst at times, right? So, what was that kind of like, when the surgery was done, right? When the recovery process was over.
Like, I look at me, I'm just like smiling, like.
And that's it.
It was
right?
relieving. It was like, wow, you did it. Like, the hard work, which is not hard work because someone's doing it for you, but the hard work of waiting, the hard work of pretty much when like the time came that surgery was done, like you're done, like go home, recover now. It just felt very relieving to know that you did it. Like that moment, like you did it. You don't look like who you looked like 5 hours ago. That's it. It's time. Be happy.
And let me stop you real quick because you had said something before. Don't discredit yourself because you took a different route than somebody else, right?
Never.
Because you had said somebody did it for me. And that's not necessarily true. You had put in a lot of effort, a lot of financial work, a lot of discipline. You had done a lot of work.
Mental stress,
physical stress, starving yourself, relationship stress. You went through a lot to achieve that. So don't necessarily discredit yourself because you went about it a different way.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You still put in work like anybody else would have, right? And now let me ask you this. Once you got all that done, and you kind of got that relief per se, how do you feel like that sort of enhanced your life? Do you feel like things are different now, mentally, physically?
Holy, super. Let's take it back to the gym. I actually don't mind people looking at me. Like I said, it goes back to the attention. I like the attention. I like people asking me, oh my God, you look so pretty. Like people actually now come up to me and be like, wow. Like they appreciate, which is freaking weird to say, but like it feels nice. It really boosts up my self-esteem. I don't mind now going to the gym because I'm gonna enhance what I already have. It's not like I'm staying in the same spot. I'm enhancing what I already have, what I got. So.
And that's so interesting too, because that was one thing I didn't expect for you to tell me.
Yeah.
You know, that once you got that surgery done and once you got your body the way you wanted it to be, how that motivated you, right?
I'm not as disappointed.
Right, and how that motivated you to eat cleaner, right?
Oh.
To dive into the gym.
Because I don't want to go back to that dark mind. Now that I feel relieved and happy to even look at myself, like how stupid does that sound? I don't want to go back to that negative mindset, like it's dark. It's a dark mindset to
Definitely.
be in.
And that's the thing about it too, you know, what's so funny is that really ties back into what we had talked about in part 1, about how although the insecurities might get smaller, they're always still there, right?
I still look at myself since I'm like, I can tweak that, but I'm okay, you know?
And that's kind of the beauty of it in a sense, right? Because once you figure out that you do have insecurities and you figure out that you can fix them, whatever route or whatever way you choose to fix them, you can then use that as a tool to continue to get better, right? And that's what's so interesting, because at least for me, you know, now that I am starting to see a little bit of a change in the gym, I am starting to see a little bit of a difference, right? And
so rewarding.
It is. It's so rewarding. And what's so interesting, at least for me, once I got to this point from where I was before, I thought that like I would be super pumped up and satisfied. Now I'm motivated to go even harder, right? To try to even work more.
There's not like a finish to it.
Right, and that's what's so cool about it too, right? It's because now we've learned how to use those insecurities as a method to further grow. And that's what's so interesting too, because it's like, for anybody watching this, you know, it's like, even though you may have insecurities and you may have things going on, once you learn how to deal with those and learn how to use those as a tool, you become powerful.
Dude.
You become so
You don't realize
powerful.
what you can do. Yeah.
And that's just so cool too, because it's like, what is it? It's the I think it's like the lightest rainbow is on the other side of the darkest cloud.
Never heard of that.
Or like you have to crawl through the mud to get to the flowers.
Okay, that sounds better.
Right? It's like there's ebbs and flows in life, right? And although things might be hard right now, things might not be exactly what you're looking for right this second, things are going to get better, right? You're going to figure out.
All it takes is to start doing something. You can't be stuck in that mindset. And that's what sucks, because it happens to so many people. Like I've seen people like actually sad, and it sucks that you can't do much for them. It takes you to do it.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think again that's another reason why it's so powerful, right? And I'm actually grateful, you know, that I had those insecurities and I had that kind of feedback growing up, because by you working through it, you become a whole different person. You know, you grow and you change mentally. Your life starts to change because of it, because you were able, like you had said, to just be willing to take a step, to move in some direction, right? Be willing to kind of put yourself out there. The rewards that you get from it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And not only did this help me with my body, it helped me mentally. Just like if you're saving up for something, now you're committed to save to something. It's not handed to you. So now you know the in and outs of doing it your own self.
And would you say, Yoana, for you, that was one of kind of your bigger takeaways with your, you know, journey on the second half, right? Post surgery and even prior. That aspect of discipline, right? In understanding that you are powerful, right? Would you say that what was like one of your biggest takeaways, you know, now that you can kind of reflect on it and look back?
I'm sorry, what? Cut it out. Wait, I don't understand the question.
Like, looking back on the whole journey,
Uh-huh.
like what's one of your biggest takeaways?
I don't know what that means. I'm
Like,
sorry.
what's one thing you learned, or one thing that that really leaves an imprint on you when you look back on your journey?
When I look back on my journey, that's something that
Like discipline, or knowing, or for me, like understanding how powerful I am. When I put my mind to something, that was something that I learned. That's a huge takeaway from me, going through all of my insecurities. You know, what would you say would be like one of yours?
don't stress the time, because I feel like once you stress time, you're stressing for no reason. The time will come. The time will really come. If you're upset at time, well, fuck, sorry. Like, you can't speed it. You can't make it any slower. What will come will come. Because once you speed time, something bad can happen. Or you stress yourself out too much. Or you get more angry than ever. Why? It'll come.
Man, that's good stuff right there. Patience.
Patience is key, brother.
Brother.
Baby.
Alright, guys. That was part 3 of the sit down. We're going to have one more episode coming up in part 4, where we're just going to talk about not judging people based off of their personal journey, and how my journey is different from Yoana's. We took something different away from both of ours, but one thing we didn't do is we didn't judge each other along the way.
No.
We didn't judge our journey because we understood that everybody's journey is different, right? So we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit on part 4. We will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you checking in. We'll see you next time, guys. Boxes in a little circle. So over here, this is going to be a playlist with a whole bunch of other videos that I posted. If you like what you saw so far from the sit down, you'll be able to keep up with everything right there. Right here is going to be the video to my previous video. And then right here, click that circle there. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon to make sure you get all the updates whenever I come out with some new content. I appreciate the support. Let's keep the train going. Here we go.